Councilman, you ready? Ready? Here we go. Everybody ready? We'll switch live. Councilman, 5 seconds. I don't think we're ready yet, Dennis. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, everybody, to the presentation portion of our Metropolitan Council meeting this December 10th, 2025. And Merry Christmas to everybody. We're going to begin with a presentation by Mayor President Sid Edwards to recognize restaurants who participated in the Table for All initiative. Mayor?
Good afternoon. What a great initiative. I've got to give credit to Chaselyn Grant here, who came up with this concept during a tough time in our community. And a Table for All is just, it's God's work. It was a beautiful thing to help feed our community. And I think a lot of people wish we just do it year round. A lot of people got a lot of good food. And we want to recognize the restaurants and the people that made this happen, this beautiful thing. And I'm going to call them all, but I like them to come up, one at a time and come up here and gather. But there may be some folks who aren't here, but I want at least their restaurant to be heard. Odom's Kitchen, Trey's Street Kitchen, KOK Wings and Things. It got to be known that Chaselyn visited all these restaurants every day and brought food back, and that's why the pants are a little tight. Bullfish Bistro. Southern Classic Chicken. Dearman's Diner. Donuts, coffee, and burgers, and I had one of each. Beignet Baton Rouge and Salad Station. Chicken Shack. I had a little Chicken Shack, but not enough. And I told him, man, you need to come on back. Southern Style Bistro. The Golden Corral. Pastime. The Smoky Pit. Dr. Feelgood. Now, you see, Dr. Feelgood is health food. I ate some of that, too. Smokey Watson Barbecue. And last but not least, Ooh La La Pizza. God bless y'all for doing this for our community, and I want people to know when you go out to eat and you spend money, look to these people. This is where you need to go. These are the people who gave back. So God bless you, and if it's okay, we could get a picture right up front.
All right, let's get a big smile from everybody. All right, good. Hold that. 3, 2, 1. All right, thank you so much. Thank you very much. All right, we have a certificate of commendation here, and this is a wonderful man. We're going to miss him very, very much. He is retiring, and much to the chagrin of all of the building and all of City Hall. And this man has done wonderful work. He's going to be hard to replace. He's promised us he would visit from time to time when we call. I don't know what he just promised, but we're, Mr. Romero, we are honored and privileged for all the work you have done for us and everything you do. And this honor is for Mr. Eric Romero.
Thank you.
So I can say a few words?
I get a turn. I got to do. Well, you'll stand up again in just a minute. On behalf of the council, we've all had some interactions with Eric for sure. I'm proud to say I was a colleague of his for a few years, and so thank you, Mayor President, for allowing me to join you in this recognition. What I would like to do, actually, because it'll make for better photographs, the team from IS can stand, please. Y'all come on up. These are the folks we call on for every issue that we have. But, you know, Eric, when you leave a place, when you're the person leaving where you work, especially for so long, you certainly want to look back and wonder, you know, did my contributions make an impact? Did I make a difference on the work side of things? And certainly with 30 years and the way information technology has advanced over that time period, I think you can confidently look back and say, yes, your efforts, your leadership had a true impact. From the perspective of these folks and the folks in this room who look to you for the voice in the meeting, who was going to be the calm presence and the reality of what we could and could not do in a given scenario. What I remember when the rain was coming in sideways, Mayor, and found him and his team at about 2 in the morning still working to make sure the communications equipment was going to function as it should, and we told him to go home and he refused because the job had to get done. Those are the things these folks remember, the tough conversations you have that help them grow as employees, as individuals. That's the real contribution you made, Eric, and we can confidently say, brother, you had a lot of those, and so thank you very much for what you've done. Thank you. Congratulations. I also, one more. He also is a great dad. I see him with his Boy Scout son standing outside of church, and he mentors that young man as well, so kudos on that.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Rowdy, Councilman. It's been a ride. Started 30 years ago as a programmer in the basement, worked my way up, not out of the basement, but up to director, and certainly want to give thanks to first Mayor Holden for taking a chance on me, appointing me as interim director, Mayor Broom for taking the interim tag off and making me permanent director, and thank you, Coach, for keeping me on board to help with the transition. Thank you all, council members, for all the support that y'all have given, not just me, but the department. And certainly, thanks to the department, because all the accolades that we've gotten, it hasn't been about me, it's been about we, department, mayors, council, and certainly my family as well. You know, Rowdy mentioned it, there were a lot of times when I was sleeping on the floor at the EOC while they were at home, when my wife was at home taking care of 2 kids during a hurricane or during a snowstorm. But to be honest, I wouldn't trade it for anything. Public service has been great to me. It has helped me grow. The position has helped me become a better leader. And just thank you all. Thanks.
With all due respect to Eric and Mayor Holden appointing him, when I hired Eric to be the job, Mayor Holden couldn't have picked him out of a lineup.
Boudreaux said she hired him.
Yeah. Well, Miss Boudreaux, I got to give her credit. She said, there's a guy you should consider. It was Eric. Literally 2 years after we hired Eric, we were a top 10 digital city. And we have stayed that way. And his contributions to this parish they're unimaginable. They are, I can't imagine anybody else stepping in, but someone's going to have to. And we will support him as well. But Eric has been, one of the most dedicated, brilliant employees that have ever worked in East Baton Rouge Parish, and I don't really want to let him go.
Brandon. Brandon. Hey, Eric, Brandon, if I may for 1 second. I remember coming on as a council member, and of course, I'm getting all new equipment and everything in the office and all, and I was having a problem connecting to something. And of course, me, that I'm like, I can figure this out. I got this. And so I called. I guess Eric called because of, it's like he's a council member. He started helping me deal with the problem. And he starts going through all this different stuff and IT, there's these specs and just total technical. I'm like, look, I own an IT company. I'm an IT person. He goes, oh, well, did you unplug it and plug it back in? I mean, in great IT fashion. The first thing you tell everybody is, did you unplug it and plug it back in? So anyway, congratulations on your retirement.
Look at me first. 1, 2, 3. Here you go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Next, we got a presentation by Councilman Anthony Kinney. Councilman?
All right, thank you, council members. If you was wondering why it's been very cold outside, it's a very, very special month for a very great group of men. So last week, December 4th, 2025, we celebrated Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, 119 years of leadership and service, and not only in the Louisiana community, but throughout the entire country and world. And so today we proudly recognize 119 years of leadership, scholarship, and service from Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, the first African-American intercollegiate fraternity and a trailblazer in shaping generation of leaders across the nation and within our own communities. As a proud member of this amazing fraternity, it is an honor to stand here to celebrate the legacy of excellence, advocacy, and uplift that Alpha Men has carried since 1906. From education and civil rights to voter engagement and community empowerment, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated has been in the forefront of meaningful change. Our brotherhood has strengthened neighborhoods, civic engagement, state, local, and federal leadership and politics, but also we have also encouraged young people to dream bigger each and every day. I am grateful to stand on the shoulders which we have stand for many years and continue the work we do to push our communities forward. Today, we would like to congratulate Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated for 119 years of impact and leadership throughout the country and world, and continue to light the way for generations to come. I'd like to bring up the Louisiana District Director of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Dr. Anthony Jackson.
Good evening, and thank you, Councilman Kinney. He's also a brother, mentee, and someone that we work with very, very close. To the Mayor President, Mr. Edwards, to the members of the Baton Rouge Metro Council. Thank you for this meaningful recognition on behalf of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated and the Louisiana District. It's very meaningful to us. We have 4 chapters in Baton Rouge. We have the Bay Island chapter, the Xi Nu Lambda chapter, and we have brothers here, we're going to ask them to stand as well, Nu Psi, and the Beta Sigma chapter. I'm honored to receive this acknowledgement for 119 years for manly deeds, scholarship, and love for all mankind. We've been in the forefront of developing leaders, advocating for our communities, and advancing scholarship and service. So again, thank you for recognizing Alpha Phi Alpha and the work that we do, and we're going to continue moving onward and upward. Thank you again.
So this certificate of recognition is presented to Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated in recognition of being the first intercollegiate African-American fraternity whose unwavering commitment to scholarship, manly deeds, and love for all mankind has uplifted our communities and inspired generational leaders. Established December 4th, 1906 at Cornell, New York. In Ithaca, New York. With gratitude and honor, we celebrate your legacy of service, leadership, and achievement. Your timeless principles continue to shape visionary trailblazers who stand at the forefront of justice, educational advancement, and civic responsibility. Given on this day, December 10th, 2025, with sincere gratitude for the East Baton Rouge Parish Metro Council. Congratulations, fraternity.
Councilwoman Rocca?
Today, I'd like to provide a certificate of recognition to the Choctaw Marine Corps League Auxiliary. This certificate is presented with great respect and appreciation to the Choctaw Marine Corps League Auxiliary, a dedicated 501c4 organization chartered in November of 2024, for your outstanding commitment to serving Marines, veterans, and their families throughout the greater Baton Rouge community. Through service efforts grounded in Americanism, child welfare, civics, rehabilitation, and Veterans Affairs support, you have demonstrated exceptional passion and leadership in advancing the mission and values of the United States Marine Corps and the Marine Corps League, Inc. In less than a year, your growing organization has already made a remarkable impact, and your continued dedication reflects an unwavering promise to uplift those who have bravely served our nation. As they're coming forward, I'd like to let you know from July 1st, 2024 till May 1st, 2025, just 10 months with only 19 members, the following stats were recorded. 570 volunteer occurrences, 7,798 hours in service, and over 14,000 miles were put on their cars servicing veterans. So please stand and recognize these wonderful people with me today. So my first certificate of recognition, aside from the General League, is for Ms. Dawn Muscarillo. You're welcome. My next is for Miss Julie Moorhead. Miss Nancy Branch. Miss Lydia Sir. Claire Gendron. Oh, Miss Claire feels better. Lori Messina. Samantha Messina. And Miss Alta Moreau. All right, if y'all take a picture. Mayor, can we get a picture with you too, please, sir?
Councilman Darrell Hurst.
Good evening, Council. Good afternoon. Today, I want to recognize somebody who's not just making waves in New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, but all over the United States and all over the world. Tell y'all a story. So I had the opportunity to meet with Dr. Calvin Mackey with STEM NOLA, STEM Baton Rouge, STEM Global, and has a whole bunch of other ones. He has STEM at Clemson and a whole bunch of other places. But I sat down with him. He talked about wanting to expand it in Baton Rouge, and I started making phone calls. So I called 2 organizations because he was looking to expand STEM into once a month doing STEM Saturdays in Baton Rouge like he does in New Orleans. Well, when I called these folks, they were more excited that I was calling them to introduce him, and because they had been looking to have him to be a motivational speaker and recognize the impact that he's had not only in the world but on our kids in the state of Louisiana. So today, I proudly present to Dr. Calvin Mackey, whereas Dr. Calvin Mackey is a renowned engineer, educator, author, entrepreneur, and motivational speaker whose extraordinary work has empowered thousands to pursue excellence in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And whereas the founder of STEM NOLA and STEM Global Action, Dr. Mackey has revolutionized STEM engagement for underrepresented communities, creating hands-on learning experiences that inspire curiosity, confidence, and innovation among youth. And whereas through his leadership and advocacy, Dr. Mackey has built bridges between education and opportunity, ensuring that young people from all backgrounds have access to the tools needed to succeed in an evolving global economy. And whereas his vision and dedication have transformed classrooms, communities, and cities, establishing him as a national leader in educational empowerment of community uplift, and whereas Dr. Mackey's lifelong commitment to service, excellence, and the advancement of others continues to inspire the next generation of dreamers, thinkers, and innovators, now therefore be resolved that we honor and recognize Dr. Calvin Mackey for his outstanding contribution to education, innovation, and community transformation, and for his enduring impact as a champion for STEM, equity, and empowerment. And today, y'all, I give y'all Dr. Calvin Mackey, and by the way, his brother is Captain America, Anthony Mackey.
To Councilman Hurst, thank you. To the entire council, thank you. To Mayor Edwards, President, thank you for both of y'all receiving me into Baton Rouge and allowing me to make a pathway for all kids. In short, I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. I started college in remedial reading and developmental math. I had test scores that said I was in college material. And 3.5 years later, I finished Morehouse, #1 in mathematics. I went across the street to Georgia Tech, and 8.5 years later, I finished Georgia Tech with a BS, MS, and PhD in mechanical engineering. I tell that story because after 11 years, I had 4 STEM degrees. So, Councilwoman Coleman, when I look out and I look at our children, I see every kid, because I know the possibility and the hope and the dream and the greatness in every child that exists not only in this world, but in the state of Louisiana. And what we're doing in New Orleans and now in other states, I want to make sure that we put it before every kid in the state of Louisiana. Thank you all, and thank you for this honor. Thank you.
All right, so next, and I want to tell y'all, he did the Bayou Classic STEM Fest right after the press conference. It was hundreds of kids. Did the same thing at Leadership, hundreds of kids, sponsored by ExxonMobil. So they're making waves in Baton Rouge already. Next, I got a call from Miss Wright at Southern Lab, my alma mater, and she talked about this amazing government AP class that she had and that they wanted to get civically engaged and understand city parish government. So today is actually a field trip for them down to the city council. So it's not just for them to listen and learn, but to also engage. So we have 6 people that want to speak throughout the meeting today at some point, very briefly, because they have a Christmas party. But we went to a couple of different areas. So we went to the 19 JDC and got to meet with my friend, who I'll honor shortly, just bring up, but the new judge, Judge Veronica Vicky Jones. We met with Hiller Moore as the next step. Mayor Edwards, now the council, and Hiller DA Moore, DA Hiller Moore wants to bring back the junior DA program, starting with this group over here. So what I want to do is just, we've already taken a picture, so you don't have to get up, but you will have to move from those seats. I think we have to move from those seats, no? Maybe, okay, y'all stay. All right, but I want to acknowledge you for all the hard work that you do. One thing we talk about is that people don't get civically engaged. And for you all to be civically engaged at such a young age, to understand the importance of government, because it makes the world go round, the importance of your ability to vote, but most of all, the importance of your ability to voice your opinion and give impact statements, because your tax dollars are what allow us to do what we do, to serve you, to serve the citizens of Baton Rouge and East Baton Rouge Parish. So thank y'all so much for coming. We took the picture earlier. If y'all could please give them a round of applause for these young folks getting engaged. Thank you so much. And I'm going to bring, I do have one certificate. It just says, this one is presented, you don't have to come up, but to Kylie Bowie, AP Government and Politics, in recognition of your outstanding ability to analyze how local government officials respond to community issues and address concerns raised by citizens. You have demonstrated strong insight into the effectiveness of public communication, the importance of civic participation, and the vital role town hall meetings play in democratic process and policymaking. Your commitment to understanding and evaluating these foundational elements of local governance reflects a high level of academic excellence and awareness. Thank you all so much.
All right, and we have one more special guest and special presentation. I think Dennis is looking for our special guest. Dennis, do you have our special guest? Hey.
Oh, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone. Wow. It is so good to be back in here this year. Lots to think. You know, like I tell you every year, I keep a watchful eye, just watching the whole time. Wow. Out of all the cities I've visited, so glad to be back here. I mean, let's just start off. I mean, talk about some naughty things found in offices. I mean, we've got, I know all of y'all ride side by side, everywhere you go. So, we was all really hoping that, with this whole new administration, I was really hoping everything was going to thrive right through the whole year, But here we are. And out of everything that I've watched this year that y'all have done, everything that pops up in the news, everything that pops up online, everything, all of a sudden, there's this key. I mean, what's the deal with the key that somebody, wants? And I'm like, is everybody jealous? I'm like, what? Okay. So then I'm thinking to myself, what does Santa Claus need to bring to everyone this year to make sure that everybody's A-okay? Well, let's start off right here. Councilwoman Tawana Harris. Councilwoman Coleman. Councilman Brandon Dole. Councilwoman Denise Amoroso. White Hudson. Councilman Hurst, Carol Hurst. Councilman Rowdy Goday. Merry Christmas. Councilman Anthony Kinney. Now, you know when Santa arrives, you're supposed to be in your seat. All right. Councilwoman Adams. Councilman Cleve Dunn Jr. Y'all, does this fella show up at all? Every time I come here, he's never here. Councilman Aaron Moak. Is he in the building? He's never here.
Definitely on the naughty list.
And if I could have the, what to me, newly elected Mayor Sid Edwards.
Thank you, Santa.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. So yes, you may now open them. And again, with everything that I hear in the news that took full precedence over everything, I offer you a key to the city of Central as an honorary key holder to the city of Central. Now, if you will notice your keys, there's no cut in it because there's no city hall in Central for you to get into at the moment. But I'm working with the mayor, and we're trying to get him a city hall open the first of the year. So, Merry Christmas to each and every one of y'all. I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your year and a happy holiday season.
We're going to take a picture with Santa, and we'll have a 3-minute break between 3 minutes, maybe 5 between this and the council meeting.
Thanks. Where you want? I'm going first. Me first. Here you go. 1. Oh. There they are. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
All right, big smiles. All right, hold that for me. All right, 3, 2, 1. One more. Wait, hold on. One more here. All right, one more. Hold that. All right.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
And everybody, while we're in this break before we start the meeting, we are going to have a couple of the Southern Lab students come up and address us and let us know a little bit about what they're doing and make a statement. So who wants to go first? Who's the brave soul that's going to be first? All right, here they come. Everybody give them a round.
Good evening. My question is, my name is Jane Dominic. My question is, how can we as high schoolers better our city as a whole?
Well, so first off, if you're living in District 10, you're already doing a pretty good job. But look, engaging with your elected officials is key, right? We don't know what you need as a constituent unless you come and talk to us, right? So a lot of folks think that there's a barrier to government to getting access. Certainly, it's not here at your local government, right? We get wisdom from the people. So if you go out and engage with us, you go out and tell us what you need, that's where we'll get the wisdom and be able to help you. So keep that in mind. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, young man, that was a great question. Look, I have an answer from Councilman McKinney. So I'm your next door neighbor next to Councilwoman Coleman in Schuylerville near Southern. But I would say, never feel like you're too young to be a leader. Never feel like you have to wait for permission to be a leader. And so you all live in the same community that we live each and every day. So, make sure, you pretty sure you travel across the entire world and come back to Baton Rouge and be like, hey, I want Baton Rouge to look like this. So just know that the things and vision that you have for your community is just as valuable as any other person who may be 80 years old who live in that community. So just know that your vision, that your mindset and y'all goals, that we want the same Baton Rouge that y'all want as well. All right.
Hi, my name is Asosa, and I go to Southern Lab, and I want to ask, what kind of STEM programs could I join to become a mechanical engineer?
So I know Calvin Mackey just left here, but one of the things that he does is he has multiple engineering degrees. He was second chair at Tulane, and considered to be the chair at Tulane for the engineering department. And getting with STEM NOLA, STEM Baton Rouge, there's a bunch of STEM stuff around here. Get engaged early because there's multiple parts of engineering that you can explore to make sure that's the right path. And if it's not, then they have other things that allow you to find the right one for them. Also, too, there's a summer program at ExxonMobil. They do it every summer. And if you get with me, I'll make sure that there's an opportunity for you. But it's high school students working in the chemical plants and the refinery, learning about the processes to determine if that's the career path you want to go down. So, good question.
Also, there's STEM BR, so Mr. Eric Lewis. And then, we have Mr. William Daniels here, who is an engineer, and he ought to be able to help you in that manner. Yes, great question. Come on, next.
My name is Mason Boyd, and my question is, are there any upcoming programs focused on job training or internships for high school students?
A great question. Mayor's office, come and answer this.
I'm sorry, my friend, I was not paying attention in class. I was over there handling business, but please ask the question again, my friend. Pull it up.
Are there any upcoming programs focused on job training or internships?
Yes, we did Mayor's Workforce Commission last summer. That's been a historical in our parish for a while, but we're looking on adding and growing that thing, getting more people involved. And we're talking, we're going to do a job fair for our employees here that have been laid off, but we want to do something for the youth as well, with a governmental twist to it as also. Will you come if we do it? No, man, how you asking me this question and you go see how you can? What's your name?
Mason Boyd.
Mason Boyd, yes. We want to do as many of those initiatives as we can. It's impressive y'all coming, impressive what y'all learning. Councilman Hurst, what these young people are doing, so thank you.
Mason.
That was the police department that said they need explorers, so you need to go over there and shake that gentleman's hand and get his contact information. That and EMS. Yeah, that's how you do that, y'all. You work it. Keep walking.
Before you go to the next question and the next speaker, Mason, I have a program called the Baton Rouge Youth Aviation Experience, and we expose young people to all the career paths in aviation, take them to an aviation conference, and get them exposure to tutoring, internships, mentorships, and things of that nature. So my legislative assistant is going to connect with you and get you information. If you're interested in that program, we'll get you enrolled.
Good afternoon. My name is Kaylin Williams, and my question is, what is being done to improve public spaces like parks, recreation centers, and sports fields for students like us and young individuals? Kaylin.
You want to answer that question?
Thank you, Kaylin. Did I say it right?
Yes, sir.
Appreciate your question. So in East Baton Rouge Parish, we have an entity known as BREC, B-R-E-C, that handles all the recreational areas for this parish. That entity, to speak to the last question, is always looking for young bright minds like yours to intern with them during the summer months, to experience some of the summer program they offer. In Baton Rouge, we have one of the top, if not the top, recreation and park system in the state and in the country. If you'd like to be connected, Kaylin, I'm happy to make a connection for you with the leaders of that organization who we interact with. There's a couple of our members who sit on that board, and the importance and the quality of our recreational areas for the public is something that's a paramount priority to this council. So thank you for raising that issue and for your passion about that issue.
Thank you.
I also want to let you know, keep your eyes and ears open for Memorial Park, because that's coming over there where the Memorial Stadium currently is, and it's going to be fabulous, and it will engage you young people, so that'll be a place for you. So you got to keep your ears and eyes open and understand that this stuff is ongoing. This is not a one-time lick.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Good job, Kaylin.
Hello, my name is Kylie Bowie, and my question is, how is the city addressing rising crime rates, especially in areas near schools and neighborhoods?
Great, Holly. Great.
Hello, Kylie.
Hey, Kylie. So great question. Really, technology is what's really driving us right now. We have a lack of manpower, so we're really looking at stats. Every week we meet with all the command staff, and it says, here's our hotspot for burglaries, here's our hotspot for shootings, and we pour all of our resources with license plate readers, crime cameras, more directed patrols into those areas. And what we've seen this year is we actually have a 20% decrease in shootings as compared to this time last year. And last year we finished with a 10% decrease. So we're heading in the right direction. I know it doesn't feel like that all the time, but we're really just trying to bolster those special units to get in those areas and use technology. Great question, though. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chief.
Good evening. My name is Taylor Salisbury. My question is, would you be willing to go to schools in the Baton Rouge area with like the programs that you all mentioned?
Nice.
Would y'all be willing to do workshops with the students in the area?
Cool.
All right, Lori, answer that, but I'm sure all of us ought to be saying yes to you. So, Councilwoman Adams?
Absolutely. I think the best part of our job is when we get to interact in the community, and especially with the young people in our community, because we definitely realize we're serving for this time, but this is a stewardship. And soon enough, we're going to be handing over these responsibilities to y'all. So yeah, let's visit about that. I'd love to talk to you about ways we could interact at your school, help with civics, community engagement, whatever information, knowledge, wisdom we have, we would love to share it with you and learn from you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Taylor.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, give it up for these young people who have asked some questions that many of you may have been apprehensive about asking. And so great job, young people.
Brandon gave me the opportunity to take a personal point of privilege at the beginning of this. 30 seconds, he told me to wait. I tried to do it earlier, y'all. But I want to bring my friend and your new judge, Vicky Jones, to the mic. You know, as we talked about the constitutional officers, how important they are, public safety and fairness. And so I want to give you the opportunity just to address the council, and thank you so much for all you do to serve our city parish.
All right, thank you. First, let me say thank you to the mayor and to the council for giving me this opportunity to come. It is truly a privilege and an honor to serve the community in a different way as the new judge for Division O of the 19th Judicial District Court. And as I stated during my campaign, my door is always open. My goal is to engage with the community, stay engaged with the community, so that the court can address the concerns as they are brought to us. And again, I just say thank you and thank you all.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the council chamber of East Baton Rouge Parish. Good to have all of you watching this afternoon on Metro 21, on our city website at brla.gov, on YouTube, and on Facebook Live. On behalf of Mayor President Sid Edwards and members of the Metropolitan Council, Merry Christmas to all of you. Have a wonderful holiday season with your families. And once again, thank you for watching. Our council members are in a cheerful mood today and ready to take care of city business. So at this time, here is the Mayor President Pro Tem of East Baton Rouge Parish, Councilman Brandon Noble. Councilman?
Thank you, Dennis. Merry Christmas, everybody. Welcome to our Metropolitan Council this Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. We're going to call the meeting to order. Ashley, do we have a quorum?
We have a quorum.
We're going to have the invocation and pledge led by Choctaw Marine Corps League Auxiliary. Ladies?
Heavenly Father, we come to you in our weaknesses, seeking your divine strength and peace. You are our refuge, and we trust that your power is made perfect in our struggles. Grant us the courage to face challenges, the resilience to endure, and the faith to trust in your plan. Please fill us with your Holy Spirit to renew our minds and strengthen our hearts, that we may persevere through trials. Remind us that we are not alone, and with that, all things are possible. At this special time of the year, we lift up our nation's military service members and ask for your unique blessings upon them. We ask for their safety and protection, while also asking for peace, strength, and community for the families they leave. Grant those left behind courage, patience, and a deep sense of peace that surpasses all understanding. Surround these families with community and support to help them through feelings of loneliness and anxiety. We thank you for their sacrifice, their resilience, and their love for our country. May they feel your presence and know that they are not alone. Heavenly Father, we thank you for each person in this meeting and the unique talents and perspectives they bring. We thank you for the opportunity to gather together and work towards the betterment and enrichment of our community. In your holy name we pray. Amen. Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Adoption and approval of the minutes. Approval and adoption of the minutes of the Metropolitan Council meeting of November 25th, 2025, the Metropolitan Council zoning meeting of December 3rd, 2025, and the Greater Baton Rouge Airport Commission meeting of December 2nd, 2025, by the Council Administrative Treasurer. We have a motion? Motion by Councilman Kenny, second by Councilwoman Amorosa. Any opposition? Motion carries. Ashley, can you read the introductions?
Section 2.12, Introductions. Number 2, an ordinance of the City of Baton Rouge, Parish of East Baton Rouge, creating the Delmont Economic Development District within the City of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, on the property described on Exhibit A, shown on Exhibit B, defining the boundaries of the property from which new area sales and use taxes and hotel occupancy taxes may be levied by the district, and used to fund all or a portion of the cost of economic development projects as described herein, all in accordance with and as authorized by Title 27 of Title 33 of Louisiana Revised Statutes of 1950 as amended, designating the governing authority of the district, acknowledging their authority to levy sales and use taxes and hotel occupancy taxes within the district, and providing for other matters in connection with the foregoing by Councilman Darrell Hurst. Number 3, a resolution providing for canvassing the returns and declaring the result of the special election in the Downtown Development District of the City of Baton Rouge on Saturday, October 11th, 2025, for the purpose of authorizing the renewal of the levy and collection of a 10 mills ad valorem tax for a period of 5 years, beginning with the tax collection for the year 2027 and annually thereafter, and including the year 2031, and providing for other matters in connection therewith by bond counsel. Condemnation introductions. Number 4, Jerry Brooks Jr. and Linda Brooks, 816 Kenner Drive, Council District 2, Kenny. Number 5, Todd W. Campbell, 8435 Comeet Drive, Council District 2, Kenny. Number 6, Reginald Gatlin and et al., 8211 10th Street, Council District 2, Kenny. Number 7, Chanel Lynn Monroe Minor, 8645 Graham Drive, Council District 6, Dunn Jr. Number 8, G. Flav Janitorial and Cleaning Enterprise, LLC, 4206 Gushyoung Avenue, Council District 7, Harris. Number 9, Tony's Rental Properties, LLC, 4050B Winburn Avenue, Council District 7, Harris. Number 10, Jameson Dunbar, 1202 North 43rd Street, Council District 7, Harris. Number 11, Tamiko Mitchell Moran and Jude Warren Moran, 4912 Winburn Avenue, Council District 7, Harris. Number 12, 1842 Arkansas Street, LLC, 1842 Arkansas Street, Council District 10, Coleman. Number 13, Darian Harris, 4237 Highland Road, Council District 10, Coleman. Number 14, John Augustus, 1340 North 29th Street, Council District 10, Coleman. Number 15, Ronald Stevenson, 538 South 17th Street, Council District 10, Coleman. Number 16, AHNL Investments, LLC, 1441 Thomas H. Delpit Drive, Council District 10, Coleman. Number 17, Cho Van Tran and May Thi Nguyen, 3848 Plank Road, Council District 7, Harris. Adjudicated property introductions. Number 18, Lot 12, Square 44, Subdivision University Place, Council District 2, Kenny. Number 19, Lot 31 through 34, Square 11, Subdivision Banks, Council District 2, Kenny. Number 20, Lot 6 and 7, Square 52, Subdivision Banks, Council District 2, Kenny. Number 21, Lot 4 plus, Square 52, Subdivision Banks, Council District 2, Kenny. Number 22, Lot 17, Subdivision Allison Heights, Council District 2, Kenny. Number 23, Lot 52 and 53, Square 2, Subdivision Victory Place, Council District 7, Harris. Number 24, Lot 13, Square A, Subdivision Victory Place, Council District 7, Harris. Number 25, Lot 3, Square 52, Subdivision Fortune, Council District 5, Hurst. Number 26, Lot 4, Square 52, Subdivision Fortune, Council District 5, Hurst. Number 27, Lot 41, Square 14, Subdivision South Baton Rouge, Council District 10, Coleman. Number 28, Lot 26, Square 163, South Baton Rouge Subdivision, Council District 10, Coleman. Number 29, Lot 7 through 10, Square 6, Subdivision Paradise, Council District 2, Kenny. Number 30, Lot 8 plus, Square 28, Subdivision Greenville Extension, Council District 7, Harris. Number 31, Lot 259 plus, Subdivision Belfair Homes, Council District 7, Harris. Number 32, Lot 51, Subdivision Greenway Place, Council District 5, Hurst. Number 33, Lot 12, Square L, Subdivision Fairfields, Council District 7, Harris. Number 34, Lot 9, Subdivision East Fairlane, Council District 5, Hearst. Number 35, Lot 62, subdivision Greenway Place, Council District 5, Hearst. Number 36, Lot 69, subdivision subdivision West Fairfields, Council District 7, Harris. Number 37, Lot 38, subdivision Fairlane, Council District 5, Hearst. All items that require reading have been read.
Motion to introduce items 3 through 37.
We have a motion to introduce items 3 through 37 by Councilman Hudson, second by Councilwoman Coleman.
I object.
Do you have a substitute?
I have a substitute motion to introduce them all.
Second.
We have a substitute motion to introduce all items by Councilman Moak, second by Councilman Hudson. We're going to vote on substitute motion first. I'm sorry.
Second by Hurst.
What did I say? Hurst. Substitute motion by Councilman Moak, second by Councilman Hurst. We're going to vote on substitute motions first. We're going to vote on the machines.
Machines are open on the motion to introduce all items.
Count me as a yea, I gotta get that.
My name is a yes.
5 votes.
We need to vote again? Okay. We're going to open the machines. Everybody ready? We're going to vote on substitute motion. If your machine's not working, let Ashley know you vote.
Machines are open
Substitute-
on the substitute motion
Substitute
to
motion.
introduce all items. Six votes.
Motion fails. We're going to vote on the substitute motion.
No, original
I'm sorry,
motion.
the original motion. To
Machines are
introduce-
open on the original motion to introduce items 3 through 37. Six votes.
Make a motion to introduce all items. We have a
That-
motion.
Vote closed.
Motion by the chair, second by Councilman Goday to introduce all items. Any opposition? We're showing one opposed. We'll vote on the machines.
Council members, machines are open on the motion to introduce all items. Are you in now?
Motion to introduce items 3 through 37.
Machines are open on the motion to introduce items 3 through 37.
We don't have a second.
Oh, sorry.
We have a motion by Councilman Hudson, second by Councilwoman,
That was my fault.
huh?
Sorry.
Motion by Councilman Hudson, second by Councilwoman Adams to introduce items 3 through 37. Any opposition? We have opposition. We're going to vote on the machine.
I'm getting ahead of myself. Apologies. This is, machines are now open on the motion to introduce items 3 through 37.
Gotcha.
Eight
Motion
votes.
carries. All right, we're going to go to our separate sheet for condemnations. Recommendations from DPW are to proceed with items 60, 61, 62, 64, 65, 66, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 80, 81, 82, 83. 30 days on item 77, 90 days on item 67, delete items 58, 59, 63, 79, and 84. I do have a recommendation for District 7 to extend 30 days to items 77 and 78. Do we have any other recommendations from council?
60 days on 58.
58? Wait, okay.
Yep.
It was recommended to be deleted.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Councilwoman Coleman, do you have any? Councilwoman Coleman, do you have any condemnation recommendations?
All right, so okay, 60 on 60, 30 on 62, 30 on 65, 60 on 64, 60 on 66. DOT has 68, so we can delete that one, 68. 60 on 72, 60 on 73. That's it.
All right. Councilman McKinney, we good? Anybody else? Okay. I'm gonna read them back. We are to proceed with items 61, 69, 70, 71, 74, 75, 76, 80, 81, 82, and 83. 30 days on items 62, 65, 77, 78. 60 days on items 60, 64, 66, 72, and 73. 90 days on item 67. Delete items 58, 59, 63, 68, 79, and 84. Anyone here wishing to speak on these items? Seeing none,
What about 81?
do we have a motion?
No, let it go. Don't get nothing from them, let them go. Stand to be correct.
Do we have a motion as read? Motion by Councilman Dunn Jr., second by Councilwoman Coleman. Any opposition? Motion carries. Item 85, a resolution providing written notice to the Board of Commerce and Industry outlining the Metropolitan Council's recommendation to the board regarding Super Insulation LLC's noncompliance with the Industrial Tax Exemption Program contact for the years of 2022 and 2023 by the Council Administrative Treasurer. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, go to council.
Council members, if you remember, this is a similar item that we had a couple of weeks ago. This business is non-compliant with their ITAP contract, and previous action taken was to defer any action to the Board of Commerce and Industry for the other non-compliant businesses.
We have a motion? I'll make a motion that we proceed allowing the board to determine the action to be made. Second by Councilman Goday. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. 86, granting 5-year property tax abatement estimated at $18,376 per year for Vagabond Properties LLC located at 1620, 1640, and 1660 Government Street by the Planning Director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item?
Council members, you should have received one email comment in opposition to item 86.
Seeing none, go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Coleman, second by Councilwoman Adams. Any opposition? Motion carries. 87, a resolution providing for the canvassing and returns and declaring the result of special election held in the parish of East Baton Rouge, state of Louisiana, on Saturday, November 15th, for the purpose of authorizing the parish to extend and levy an 11.1 mils ad valorem tax authorized for public library purposes upon all property subject to taxation within the parish, for an additional 10 years, beginning with year 2026 to and including year 2035, and further authorizing the parish to rededicate $52,400,000 of proceeds of the tax hereto and hereafter received for parish-wide general purposes, and rededicate the use of proceeds for the tax so that proceeds heretofore and hereafter received by the 8.3 mils of the tax shall be administered by the East Baton Rouge Parish Library Board of Control and used to maintain and operate the public library system of the parish, including acquiring land and constructing new library facilities, and proceeds heretofore and hereafter received from 2.8 mils of the tax shall be used for parish-wide general purposes and providing for other matters in connection therewith by the bond council. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilman Goday. Councilwoman Adams.
There was some confusion with this item on social media, and people don't necessarily understand. But 87, 88, and 89 are essentially ministerial duties of the council. We're just receiving the outcome of the election that was held. This in no way, shape, or form is a new proposal or anything that anybody needs to worry about. We're just closing the loop on the election that just took place.
I don't believe there was any misinformation on social media. That never happened. We have a motion by Councilman Gode, second by Councilwoman Harris. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. Item 88, a resolution providing for the canvassing and returns and declaring the result of the special election held in the parish of East Baton Rouge, State of Louisiana on Saturday, November 15, 2025, for the purpose of authorizing the parish to extend a levy of 1 mil ad valorem tax authorized for mosquito abatement and rodent control purposes upon all property subject to taxation within the parish for 10 years, beginning with the year 2027 to and including 2036, and further authorizing the parish to rededicate $6 million of proceeds of the tax heretofore and hereafter received for parish-wide general purposes, and rededicate the use of the proceeds of the tax so that proceeds heretofore and hereafter received from half mills of the tax shall be used entirely and exclusively to provide funds to purchase, maintain, and operate machinery, facilities, and equipment necessary in the eradication, abatement, or control of mosquitoes, arthropods of public health importance, and rodents, and providing for adequate administrative and support staff, and proceeds heretofore and hereafter received from half mills of the tax shall be used for parish-wide general purposes, and providing for other matters in connection therewith by the bond council. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Motion by Councilman Dunn Jr., second by Councilwoman Adams. Any opposition? Motion carries. 89, a resolution providing for the canvassing of returns and declaring the result of special election held at the parish of East Baton Rouge, State of Louisiana on Saturday, November 15, 2025, with the purpose of authorizing the parish to extend a levy of 2.25 mils ad valorem tax upon all property subject to taxation within the parish for 10 years, beginning with the year 2027 and annually thereafter, and including 2036, and further authorizing the parish to rededicate the use of proceeds of the tax heretofore and hereafter received so that 2 mills shall be used exclusively by the East Baton Rouge Parish Council on Aging or any successor thereto, to provide funds to operate and maintain programs, services, and activities for elderly citizens in the parish, including Meals on Wheels, senior centers, homemaker services, transportation and nutrition, wellness, and recreational programs, to acquire, construct, operate, and maintain facilities to serve elderly citizens in the parish, and to otherwise fund the operating budget of the Council on Aging, and quarter mil shall be used for parish-wide general purposes, and providing for other matters in connection therewith by the bond council. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Do we have a motion? Motion by Councilwoman Rocca, second by Councilman Dunn Jr. Any opposition? Motion carries. 90, authorizing settlement of the pre-litigation claim of Linda Trusclair for damages resulting from an auto accident caused by Baton Rouge Fire Department employee in the amount of $16,000 by the parish attorney. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Harris. We have a second. Second by Councilman Hudson. Any opposition? Motion carries. 91, authorizing settlement of the pre-litigation claim of Sarah Griffiths for damages resulting from an auto accident caused by a Baton Rouge Police Department employee, amount of $13,500 by the parish attorney. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilman Gode, second by Councilman Hudson. Any opposition? Motion carries. 92, authorizing settlement in the matter entaining Charles Valentine and Juanita Valentine versus East Baton Rouge City Parish Government et al. In an amount of $41,000 plus court costs in an amount of $430.63 for a total amount of $41,430.63 by the parish attorney. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilman Gode, second by Councilman Hudson. Any opposition? Motion carries. I'm going to take 93 through 101 together. Authorization of the Mayor, President, and/or Chairman of the Airport Commission to execute a professional services contract with Intervisas Consulting USA LLC to provide air service development consulting services for the Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport in amount not to exceed $60,000 by the Aviation Director. Authorization of the Mayor, President, and/or Chairman of the Airport Commission to execute a professional services contract with Sulla LLC to provide oversight and administrative services related to the FAA's DBE, ACDBE, and SDBE programs for Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport in an amount not to exceed $80,000 by the Aviation Director. Authorization for the Mayor, President, and/or Chairman of the Airport Commission to execute a professional services contract with MMR Communications to provide maintenance and support for the CCTV and ACS systems in an amount not to exceed $80,000 by the Aviation Director. Authorization for the Mayor, President, and/or Chairman of the Airport Commission to execute a professional services contract with Covalent Logic to provide advertising, marketing, and communication services in an amount not to exceed $250,000 by the Aviation Director. Authorization for the mayor, president, and/or chairman of the airport commission to execute a professional services contract with Star Services to provide HVAC system and EMS maintenance in an amount not to exceed $304,000 by the aviation director. Authorization for the mayor, president, and/or chairman of the airport commission to execute a professional services contract with U.S. Computers to provide service support, maintenance, and backup services for the Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport in an amount not to exceed $60,000 by the aviation director. Authorization for the mayor, president, and/or chairman of the airport commission to execute a professional services contract with Lamar Advertising to provide Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport 2 static billboard panels in an amount not to exceed $67,000 by the aviation director. Authorization of the mayor, president, and/or chairman of the airport commission to execute a professional services contract with Corson Nickel LLC to provide governmental relations services for the Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport in an amount not to exceed $96,000 by the aviation director. Authorization for the mayor, president, and/or chairman of the airport commission to execute a professional services contract with Avexon to provide firewall and network management services in an amount not to exceed $80,000 by the aviation director. Anyone here wishing to speak on items 93 through 101? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Do we have a motion?
I just want to bring a point of clarity, and if Michael Tafaro could come up. In these budget crisis days we have, I want Michael to explain that the airport is an enterprise fund and self-generated revenue, and none of these dollars are coming out of the general fund of city parish. Can you speak through that, Mike?
Yes, Councilman. Thank you very much. That is correct. The airport is an enterprise fund. We are mandated by federal law to generate our own revenue. We do that through leases, through concession agreements, through other opportunities. Grant money funds a lot of construction. So these monies spent are earned at the airport and stays at the airport. It does not affect the general fund in any way, and it does not take any tax dollars away.
Thank you. Motion to approve.
Council members, you should have received one email comment in opposition to item 96.
We have a motion by Councilman Dunn Jr., second by Councilwoman Adams. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. 102, authorization for the mayor, president, and/or chairman of the airport commission to amend the land lease with America's Auto Auction Baton Rouge to reduce the leased area from 27.292 acres to 20 acres by the aviation director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Motion by Councilman Dunn Jr., second by Councilwoman Adams. Any opposition? Motion carries. 103, authorization for the mayor, president, and/or chairman of the airport commission to execute a lease agreement between the city of Baton Rouge, parish of East Baton Rouge, and the greater Baton Rouge Airport District to lease a total of 7.43 acres of land for a period of 10 years with a 5-year option to renew at a rental rate of $4,869.47 per month or $58,433.64 per year by the aviation director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Motion by Councilman Dunn Jr., second by Councilman Goday. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. 104, amending 2025 current expense and capital budget so as to adjust estimated revenues and appropriations and authorize the director of finance to make certain departmental interfund transfers in accordance with State Budget Act and the Plan of Government, Budget Supplement 9132 by the finance director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Do we have a motion? Motion by Councilwoman Adams. Second by the chair. Any opposition? Motion carries. 105, authorizing the mayor, president, Emile Sid Edwards to submit an amendment to the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery and Mitigation Resilient Communities Infrastructure Program Recovery Program application submitted to the Louisiana Office of Community Development in an amount not to exceed $4,900,000. I'm sorry. Well, that decimal in the wrong spot. Okay. $4,915,204 by Community Development Director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Harris, second by Councilman Kenny. Oh, is that not a motion in a second? Okay. Who?
Hey, Kelly, can you come on up? Just real quickly, just high level talk about what this is for the general public.
Good afternoon, council members. In April of 2024, you all voted on the same item, but there were two different projects. One was for the food access program as a priority and the master storm water plan. your series of public engagement activities, it was determined that the priorities change. So the Louisiana Office of Community Development has asked that we come to you to inform you of that change, and also send a letter to the director of the Louisiana Office of Community Development indicating from Mayor Edwards of the new changes in priority projects, meaning the food access program and the Plank Road Light Up project, which is covering 4.2 miles of solar lighting. So there's no new money, no changes other than the priorities.
All right. Thank you, Darrell. Thank you, Ms. Kelly.
Okay.
Mr. Kelly and Ms. Darrell.
You're welcome.
Do we have a motion? Motion by Councilwoman Harris, second by Councilman Kenny. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. 106, authorizing Mayor President to execute an agreement between the City of Baton Rouge, Parish of East Baton Rouge on behalf of the Office of Community Development and Glen Oaks Security Dads in an amount not to exceed $75,000 with a term beginning December 1st, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2026, and further authorizing the execution of all related documents by Community Development Director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion.
Motion.
We have a motion by Councilman Hurst, second by Councilman Dunn Jr. Is there any opposition? Councilman Hudson.
Can someone come up and just give us the source of these funds, just for the sake of the public watching? They're watching how we're spending our money, so we just want to know the source.
Yep. Thank you for that, Councilman. This is Senator Regina Barrow's money. She was gracious enough to give City of Baton Rouge. This was her direct allocation in her act, so this is passed through on state dollars, not general fund.
Thank you.
No problem.
Councilman Dunn Jr.
Thank you. I just want to acknowledge Mr. Tommy Stout and the Glen Oaks Security Dads that are in the room. I want to give them opportunity to speak if they want to. If not, these gentlemen have been staples in the North Baton Rouge community, particularly in Glen Oaks. Many of them kids went to Glen Oaks High School, graduated from Glen Oaks High School, and they took upon this mission to provide extra security and safeguard for those who attended Glen Oaks activities, and they've been doing it for probably over 30 years now, if I'm not mistaken. So thank you, guys.
Just don't let me forget. We'll do it at the end.
He's coming.
Good evening. My name is Tommy Stout with the Glen Oaks High School Security Dads. For the last 32 years, he insists I spoke, so I want to let you know what we're doing. When we first started the Glen Oaks High School Security Dads, it was actually to bring in more dads into the school. But everything has changed. We had about 1,300 kids over there at the time. And we served as chaperones, security at the school, actually trying to deter any kind of activity that goes on. And that was successful. But hey, over the last 30 years, the environment has changed. We have about 650 kids now. And we were homeowners at the time, and we didn't need all the resources. But now, we are serving a lot of underserved kids from rentals. Our property is rental property now. It's not on homeowners. So we need these funds to put in certain activities, certain outreach activities to serve our underserved kids. So thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
We have a motion by Councilman Hurst, second by Councilman Dunn Jr. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. We're going to take 107 through 109 together. Authorizing Mayor President on behalf of the Baton Rouge City Court to enter into a contract for professional services with Claire Neely. The contract is not to exceed the sum of $72,000 for the term of the contract. Services provided are the performance of highly responsible court reporting activities, which include taking verbatim testimony during court proceedings and transcribing by clerk of court, judicial administrator. Authorizing Mayor President on behalf of the Baton Rouge City Court to enter into a contract for professional services with Lacey Dice. Contract is not to exceed the sum of $72,000 for the term of the contract. Services provided are performance highly responsible court reporting activities, which include taking verbatim testimony during court proceedings and transcribing. Clerk of Court, Judicial Administrator. Authorizing Mayor President on behalf of the Baton Rouge City Court to enter into a contract for professional services with Melissa David, doing business as MJ David LLC. Contract is not to exceed the sum of $72,000 for the term of the contract. Services provided are the performance of highly responsible court reporting activities, which include taking verbatim testimony during court proceedings and transcribing by Clerk of Court, Judicial Administrator. Anyone wishing to speak on items 107 through 109? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Do we have a motion? Motion by Councilwoman Adams, second by Councilwoman Harris. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. 110, authorizing Mayor President to execute a professional services agreement with Corson Nickel LLC in an amount up to $150,000 for legislative consulting services for the city parish for calendar year 2026, and the option for one-year renewals contingent upon available budget by the mayor's office. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Do we have a motion? Motion by Councilman Dunn Jr., second by Councilwoman Coleman. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. 111, authorizing Mayor President to execute a contract with Patton Productions, Inc. for professional consulting services related to the Baton Rouge Film Commission for the period January 2nd, 2026 through December 31st, 2026, in an amount of $120,000, and the option for one-year renewals contingent upon available budget by the mayor's office. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Councilwoman Adams.
Just want to note for the public here and the public watching that that these funds invested in our Baton Rouge Film Commission are multiplied. We had at least $2 million worth of projects come into the parish. I'm looking at Mayor Pro Tem Noel, because he sits on the board with me, come into the parish this year, and there is a healthy pipeline for next year. So I look forward to us having some great announcements about projects in the 2026 year, and I move approval.
Second the motion. Motion by Councilwoman Adams, second by the chair. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. 112, authorizing Mayor President to execute a contract with Nathan Hall for professional consulting services related to the Baton Rouge Film Commission for the period of January 2nd, 2026 through December 31st, 2026, in an amount not to exceed $59,000, and the option for one-year renewals contingent upon available budget by the mayor's office. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Motion by the chair, second by Councilwoman Adams. Any opposition? Motion carries. Item 113, authorizing the Mayor President to execute an agreement with Benjamin Baychok for curator services for condemnation proceedings in 2026, in an amount not to exceed $70,000 by Development Director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Adams, second by Councilwoman Amorosa. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. 114, authorizing Mayor President on behalf of Baton Rouge Police Department to renew an operating services contract with Axon Enterprises to provide cloud storage services for in-car and body camera video systems, to include tasers and updated Cradle Point modems, including installation in vehicles through a lease bundle multi-year agreement. The annual estimated compensation of the agreement will not exceed $1,380,000 effective January 1st, 2026 by the police chief. Anyone here wishing to speak on these items, on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Adams, second by Councilwoman Amorosa. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. 115, authorizing Mayor President on behalf of the Baton Rouge Police Department to enter into a professional legal services contract with the law firm of Brazil, Saxe and Wilson, LLP. Contract will provide legal representation for the chief of police during administrative and municipal fire and police civil service board hearings. The maximum compensation of the agreement will be $150,000 by the police chief. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. I'd like to say something. We've brought this item's come to us before, years past. Brazil Saxe's represented the police chief, current chief and previous chief, and for those of you who are here and for the public who maybe wasn't, one of the recommendations that came out of this previously, and I think is appropriate again, is to look at this budget. It was far lower years ago, and then it's been increasing, and there's a lot of matters that come before this board, and that's obviously, the more they have, the more that's going to take, and the more time, and so that cost is typically going to go up, and we've seen that and we understand the reasoning behind that. However, I think there's no reason to change the approach. I thought it was sound when we did it previously, which is to keep it at the half of the request here, do it at $75,000. When we reach 2/3 of that contract, have the chief come back, talk about what the cases are, what's going on, so that not only we are informed and are able to plan budgetarily on this and know what's coming, but also so that the public can understand what's going on with those funds throughout the year, what are the cases and what's happening. We see settlements, we had some earlier tonight, that come through all the time, and these dollars and different things that are going on from a legal standpoint. And, it's good to have, rather than do a blanket 1 year on this and just have it run up. And in many cases, they have to come back and ask because it exceeds that. I think when we hit 2/3 of this contract, it's appropriate to come back. Let's see where we are, what we're expecting, and see what we need to increase it to, and just continue down that road. So that's going to be my recommendation, is we approve this for $75,000, and when 2/3 of that is hit, that chief comes back, lets us know what's going on, and requests more. That's my motion. Motion by the chair, second by Councilwoman Harris. Is there any opposition? Councilman Dunn Jr.
I just want to give the chief an opportunity to speak to what is being presented and what's his feelings and his department's view on that approach.
Thank you very much for that, Councilman Dunn. I appreciate it. For getting to speak. Just so that everybody is on the same page, this legal representation is solely for me to be able to hold officers responsible for doing wrong things. So far this year, I've had 60 disciplinary hearings, given out 450 suspension days, and 2 terminations. Every single one of those, including letters of caution, letters of reprimand, if I take units away for an extended period of time for an accident the officer's involved in, every single one of those can be appealed to the Civil Service Board, and then I have to have an attorney help me represent to be able to fight to uphold that discipline that I rendered. So far this year alone, we've spent over $40,000 on one case, and that is the termination of 3 officers that are still filing motions in district court and the First Circuit Court of Appeals to try to get their jobs back. So that is continuing next year. There's no sign of that stopping, mainly because the union has an unlimited amount of money to be able to file as many motions as they want and appeals to any discipline I give. They're on a part of a national contract, which gives them unlimited funds to file motions, to file appeals, to try to reverse discipline decisions I've made. I am doing things to we did not have to come forward to get any kind of increase in this for this year. There's already things in place that we hit certain marks that they report to the parish attorney's office that then reports to y'all on how we are doing with spending that fund. I don't think it's very fair to say, hey, I don't think you need $150,000. It's like saying, well, I don't think you need as much electricity bills you're spending. It is what it is to do cost of business and to make sure that the discipline that I render is going to be upheld. So that I would ask that you, one of the things I did, just for example, is earlier this year, instead of the lawyers putting out the pre-disciplinary hearing notices to save money, that is now an internal affairs job to do. The commander of internal affairs does that. That is saving some money and some billable hours. And I'm only using them in certain cases. This year we had 2 cases go before the Civil Service Board that got appealed, and everything else was basically motions having to deal with ongoing things. Next year we'll have that same case with the 3 officers. Another officer that was arrested and fired is in the process of filing appeals. The Civil Service Board upheld that firing, but he's filing appeals to the 19th JDC. If that fails, he'll file it to the First Circuit Court of Appeals, again, because it doesn't cost them any money, but it does cost me money to make sure that an officer like that does not get their job back. So I'd appreciate if y'all have some faith in me, approve it for the $150,000, knowing that as that money is spent, that I'll be giving y'all updates.
So, Chief, is it your belief that reducing it to 75 or any other number restricts your ability to have adequate legal representation?
1,000%. I will just be in front of y'all Probably not even, just in a few months, because we're going to go through it pretty quickly with the things that we have going on, just to defend those, definitely by the middle of the year. But $150,000, I think, is where we need to be this year. With some of the changes I've made, we're going to be coming in right about 140. Be trying not to use them as much, but I definitely rely on them for legal representation to make sure that we don't open ourselves up to lawsuits and things that could cost us more money.
And it's your desire for us to approve as is?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you for those comments. With that, I'll put forth a substitute motion to approve as is.
Hold on one second.
We have a substitute motion to approve the item as is. Do we have a second? Yes. Councilwoman Coleman seconds the substitute motion. Councilman Moat.
Yeah, so one of the reasons that we started that policy a while back was the amount of cases were just exponentially growing and growing, constantly coming. You stand before us today, basically what you're saying is it's the same people, same disciplinary stuff, just appealing. Where do your cases stand as far as the amount of cases or the amount of appeals and everything versus maybe the previous year? Or what do you anticipate into next year?
Yeah, so great question. I can't really anticipate into next year other than the cases that people are not happy with how the Civil Service Board ruled and are going to the 19 JDC First Circuit Court of Appeals. But this year, out of all that discipline that I had to render this year, 450 suspension days, 2 terminations, all those things, letters of reprimand, taking units away for different discipline, I had 2 cases that went in front of the Civil Service Board. So 2 officers that did not agree with the discipline that I gave them that went to the Civil Service Board. That cost money. One of those cases, because of all the motions that they file and the pre-work and stuff, about $9,000 for one of those cases, just to go in front of the Civil Service Board, have 10 hours of hearing, multiple witnesses, those kind of things. Okay. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that previous administration had a lot more of appeals to the discipline. They didn't think that discipline was fair. A lot of the discipline I give, obviously the officers think it's fair because I only had 2 people out of all those appeals to the Civil Service Board.
And I appreciate you saying that. That's what I was trying to, we want to sit here and some people can say, well, what's good for what we did with previous, we can, we need to continue doing that here. And I understand where Councilman Knowles coming from and all, but, like I said, what we saw last time was a constant appealing, no matter what, and so on and so forth. It was a constant appeal. You feel like you feel like year over year the disciplinary part has declined enough, and the appeals have gone down, or going to the Civil Service Board have gone down because they recognize the fact that, okay, this is right, I don't need to do this, I'm going to lose anyway.
Yeah, so the number of appeals has definitely gone down, but with the way that the union's new lawyer contracts work, where they basically have an endless amount of money through the national insurance plan that they're under, the officers that do decide to appeal, the few that do decide to appeal, like the ones that were fired and are trying to get their job back, another one that's fired trying to get the job back, they do a lot more types of appeals. A lot more different motions that they file, going all the way up to the First Circuit Court of Appeals because they're not paying for those lawyer fees. It's very similar to, me being the public defender, them being the district attorney's office. And they got endless money, and I need the money to be able to uphold the discipline that I give.
So you brought that up, is that a change based on, so they could use the attorneys to go to the Civil Service Board, they defend them and everything else and such. Is it a difference now to where if the Civil Service Board doesn't agree with them, the attorney just sticks with them all the way to whether it may go to the Supreme Court, where before it ended at a certain point?
Yeah, I think before they didn't have as much money.
Okay. And is that something that's new that started? When did this kick in?
I'm not sure. I think just a couple of years ago, because of the amount of appeals that were happening before, they had to look at how they were doing business different because they were spending, so the union itself was spending so much money on attorney fees, they had to look at a different business model.
So when it came up for renewal, they went to a stay with them until a time.
Yes, sir.
And that's where the 150 comes in versus, previous years.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Councilman Hudson.
Chief, I think Councilman Moak's questions were touching on this a little bit, but I want to make sure I understand. Your turnover rate on your decisions, do you have an idea of what that is? I recall in the past discussions around this item that was a component of it, that a lot of decisions were being overturned. Is that still the case?
No, sir. I haven't had any decisions overturned. I had, closest I came was one came to a stalemate because there wasn't enough members on the board that day. There's only 5 members on the Civil Service Board. One didn't come, and it was a 2-2 tie, deciding whether or not the 5-day suspension I gave should be upheld or not. And so it came to a stalemate. And so we were going to have to do the whole thing, a whole 10-hour hearing over again.
Yeah.
And instead of spending that much money, I came to a consent agreement with that officer for lesser than the 5 days, so that I would not have to spend money out of that $150,000 allotment. I just decided to do a consent discipline instead of trying the whole thing over again.
So I do kind of appreciate the thinking of Councilman Knoll in that, I remember my friend Judge Erica Green sitting over there, and whenever we would disagree on something, she would always say, okay, y'all keep that same energy, and so I want to be sure that we do that, because it's an important task. I do understand, though, that we are in a little bit different reality, particularly with those 3 cases that you mentioned. I understand that those are very expensive cases and can drive up costs on this item.
And they're nowhere near being done.
Right. So forgive my ignorance on this, but where is the current threshold for notice to the parish attorneys in this contract?
I think it's set at 75%, something like that.
Okay. I'm just curious if maybe we can meet in the middle and say give notice at 75 so that we can track the spending, and then the $75,000.
Give notice when we hit the 50% mark at $75,000 to see where we're at in the year.
Yeah, I'll just offer that up as a friendly amendment if it's something that maybe Councilman Dunn would consider.
I'm fine with that, Councilman, but if I can, I want to get the parish attorney, Greg Rome, to come up real quick. We've had these budget hearings. We've talked about, what I've called these dedicated parish attorneys that you have in other departments, which one is BRPD. And I've even made the recommendation that BRPD's budget should pay for that lawyer that's over there, even though the chief disagrees. But many people have questions. What's the difference between that attorney and this outside counsel? Can you just explain the difference in the roles?
And that's why Kim is reluctantly coming up here. And I want to tell you, typically, I know Councilman Hudson said 75%, but I think it has been notification at about 2/3. It can be whatever y'all want.
So
But Jim-
75,000 was the 50%, essentially 75,000.
But I'm saying we get notification when they use up about 2/3. Jim Raines will either call me or email me and say, hey, Greg, here's where we are. So he keeps Courtney and I and Renita updated. But anyway.
Councilman Hudson, that's 66% instead of the
So, Councilman
75.
Are you proposing that?
I didn't say that, Councilman Hudson. So anyway.
Wait a minute, Greg. Are you proposing that notice that 50% and keep it in place? I'm fine with that. I don't know if a motion need to be made or not, actually.
So to answer your question, Councilman, we have a police legal advisor that's dedicated to Baton Rouge City Police that is at that location at 9000 Airline, that the police department does not compensate us for that employee. That's an employee of our office that goes there every day, that works that's employed by the parish attorney's office. That lawyer does not do police discipline. Ms. Brooks has done that in the past, has done both roles. And if you need any history on that, that's why I brought her up here. She can give you that. She did it for Chief Dabity, Chief Johnny Dunham, who was a temporary police chief, and then a little while for Chief Murphy Paul, and then Chief Paul wanted his own disciplinary counsel, and I think Ms. Batson did that, or Mr. Dotson, I can't remember. One of them, he wanted his own disciplinary counsel, and our office accommodated him with that. And then I think roughly around the same time, Chief Morris and I came in about the same time, and then when that contract came up, he and I discussed it. I think right at the front end, he kind of wanted to keep it in place. I said fine if he wanted to keep it in place. I didn't have a problem with that. I think it got renewed again after that. I can't remember. I'm sorry, Chief, I just don't remember, but here we are again, basically.
Just wanted you to clarify the difference in the two roles in the attorneys, the employee in your office and the contract one. But on to the friendly amendment, if I understand it correctly, I think what Councilman Hudson is offering for me to amend it to approve as is, but change the notice to 50% notice. If that's what he's offering, I'm okay with amending my
That is
substitute
correct,
motion to that.
and as a point of personal privilege, my math was correct. 75,000 is a half of 150,000, okay? So,
If you're
thank you.
talking about notice to my office, I don't
Yes.
think Brazil Saxy cares. If y'all pick a number, Jim Raines will let us know, I promise you.
50%.
Okay.
$75,000.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Coleman, is you still second Councilman Dunn Jr.'s motion to,
Greg.
as amended?
Greg.
Councilman Moak?
I just wanted a clarification thing. We have a parish attorney person that works at the police department that goes to the police department each day from the parish attorney's office.
But they don't come to, they go straight to
They go
the police.
straight to
Yes, sir.
the police department.
Yes, sir.
And they represent, through the parish attorney's office, they represent the police department as, basically as a whole.
Sir?
They represent the police department or legal advice and stuff to the police department as a whole.
Yes.
This one we're contracting is Chief Morris's attorney,
Well,
strictly
that is-
for discipline and what he does.
Strictly discipline,
Okay,
just disciplinary counsel.
okay. Thank
Come
you.
on, what's the matter? Did I say something wrong?
No,
Oh.
I was talking to somebody else, so I didn't hear what you said.
He was just trying to say that the contract lawyer just does discipline.
Kim could probably give some insight as to what Dealey is doing over
Oh.
there since she did the job, just
I'm
so
sorry.
that they know
Yeah,
what,
and that would go closer to what
what our
council.
office
Yeah.
does for BRPD.
Yeah, why don't you say that?
Kim can let us
Well, and also by discipline, I mean, you have your assistant chiefs and stuff, they discipline also. Does the attorney represent them, or are you the only one that does that discipline?
So the deputy chiefs give recommendations, but I, according to civil service, I'm the appointing authority, and I'm the only one that is allowed to render discipline. It all has to be my decision. They, of course, give their recommendations, but at the end of the day, it's always my decision.
Yeah, so that translates to me as your attorney for disciplinary action, your attorney.
For the Baton Rouge Police Department,
Right,
that is rendering the discipline, and I'm the appointing authority doing it, yes.
thank you.
Why don't you tell them what Dealey does?
So as a general rule, when I was the police legal advisor, I'm not exactly sure what she does on a daily basis now, but you answer public records requests. Police officers call you, they give you information, they ask you if you think that they have reasonable suspicion or probable cause to make an arrest or to do a stop. That can come in even in the middle of the night. I also used to teach at the police academy, would teach law at the police academy, teach other classes when they had to have updates, answer any legal questions the chief had, talk to IA about IA investigations on officers before it reached the disciplinary process through the chief. And every day was just something different, but not discipline issues until I came downtown and then became the discipline attorney when I had another job as well.
Thank you. Sound like a lot of work on the behalf of the BRPD.
It
Which
is.
is why I think the Baton Rouge Police Department budget should fund that position. But I'm gonna leave that to Greg Roan to have that conversation with the chief.
Okay, Councilman Hurst?
You got 2 minutes left, Councilman Moak. Can I say something about that?
Chief, would you like to respond to?
So when it comes to the parish attorney, and I do appreciate having Ms. Dealey in the building, about 80, it's a different world than when Ms. Brooks was there with body cameras and as many public records requests we get now. I would say probably about 90% of her job is looking through public records requests and making sure what we release in the form of reports and body cameras is not going to get the city parish sued. If I was told that I needed to cover that job, then I would probably hire somebody that represented the Baton Rouge Police Department and not the city parish. If it's going to be coming out of my budget, I'd want them to represent the Baton Rouge Police Department and not the city parish's best interest. So that would be my argument against it coming out of my budget to cover an employee that I have no right to hire or fire or discipline. Why would I pay for somebody that I can't make sure they're doing their correct job? Thank you, Councilman Mook.
Councilman Hurst.
It's past the period, but it looks like you want to make a comment, so you're welcome to. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Yes. First, I'd just like a little clarification. The $150,000 we're talking about is coming out of the money that has been budgeted for the police department. It's their budget. I want to thank the chief for standing firm on discipline and urge the council to provide him the funds he needs to continue discipline. One single police incident can cost and has cost the city millions of dollars. We need police who do things right. Thank you.
Okay, we have a substitute motion to approve with an amendment to have notification at 50% utilization by Councilman Dunn Jr., seconded by Councilwoman Coleman. We're going to vote on machines. We're going to vote on substitute motion.
Machines are open on the substitute motion to approve. Yeah, we're reporting at 50%.
Motion carries. Item 116, authorizing the Mayor President on behalf of the Baton Rouge Police Department to enter into an operating services contract with Star Services. I'm sorry. We need a roll call vote on that.
Sorry.
Apologies.
Roll call on the previous item. Councilman Goday?
Yes.
Councilman Moak?
Yes.
Councilwoman Adams?
Yes.
Councilman Dunn Jr.?
Yes.
Councilman Hurst?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rocca?
Yes.
Councilman Knoll?
Yes.
Councilman Hudson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Amoroso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Yes.
Got her.
Councilman Kenny?
Yes.
Councilwoman Harris?
No.
Thank you.
Item 116, authorizing Mayor President on behalf of the Baton Rouge Police Department to enter into an operating services contract with Star Services to provide HVAC services for the public safety complex. The estimated compensation of the agreement is not to exceed $435,000 by the police chief. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Adams, second by Councilman Hudson. Any opposition? Motion carries. 117, authorizing the Mayor President on behalf of the Baton Rouge Police Department to renew a professional services contract with Motorola Solutions, Inc. for annual subscription cost of the Command Central Aware Program. The annual estimated compensation of the agreement will not exceed $63,860 by the police chief. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Adams, second by Councilwoman Amoroso. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. 118, authorizing the Mayor President on behalf of the Office of Community Development to amend contract with Bayou Rouge Environmental and Planning LLC to expand the scope of work, extend the contract term through January 31st, 2027, increase compensation by $139,850 for a revised not to exceed amount $289,850, and execute all related documents by the Community Development Director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilman Goday, second by Councilman Hudson. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. 119, authorizing Mayor President to execute a contract with Eisner Amper LLP in an amount not to exceed $1,586,320 for the annual comprehensive audit and the Raising Cane's River Center Management Agreement audit for auditing services for the years 2025 through 2028, and further authorizing the Audit Committee Chairperson and Finance Director to execute the engagement letters with said audit by the Finance Director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilman Goday, second by Councilman Moak. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. Item 120, authorizing the Mayor President to execute a contract with East Baton Rouge Parish School Board on an amount not to exceed $134,110 to provide adult education classes for the inmates in the East Baton Rouge Parish Prison for the period of January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026 by the Finance Director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Do we have a motion? Motion by Councilwoman Harris, Second by Councilwoman Adams. Any opposition? Motion carries. 121, authorizing the mayor president to execute a professional service contract with Tax Compliance and Recovery LLC in an amount not to exceed $137,580 for the performance of certain professional services relating to the recovery of sales and use taxes by the finance director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Motion by Councilwoman Adams. Second by Councilwoman Coleman. Any opposition? Motion carries. I'm going to take 122 and 123 together, authorizing the mayor president to execute a contract for construction inspection services with GEC for services associated with the Move BR Capacity Project, Old Hammond Highway Segment 2, Millerville to O'Neill, in an amount not to exceed $749,000 by Transportation and Drainage Director. Authorizing Mayor President to execute a supplemental agreement for professional engineering services with Fort and Tablada for services associated with the Move BR Capacity Project, Nicholson Drive, Brightside to Gurrier, in an amount not to exceed $381,375.92 by Transportation and Drainage Director. Anyone wishing to speak on item 122 and 123? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Motion by Councilman Moak. Second by Councilman Gode. You want to speak? Councilman Gode. Look,
I'm asking. Yeah, there's Fred. Thank you. Fred, it's on 120. Excuse me. Fred, it's on 123, the Nicholson Drive. If you can just simply give an update. I got a couple of inquiries throughout the week on that particular project.
You must have got a call from me then too, huh? No, I'm just kidding. Well, first off, let me just say that we're moving along much better at this point in time. We do have our final review plans, final plans being looked at by DOTD currently. Reason is that the plans that we already submitted there were some changes that DOTD wanted to see in place. And the reason for that is because it is still a DOTD roadway until it's constructed, and then it will be transferred to the city of Baton Rouge. Some of those requests are preemption for the railroad at Bob Pettit, which I think is good. They also had some sheet pile work for some drainage along the railroad, which we also think was good. And that's just some basic comments in regards to that. Now, as far as where the status is, the clearing and grubbing, we have the plans ready. That's waiting on DOTD to advertise that work. That will probably take place sometime in February of this year. We'll be able to request approval, and they will come and get their bids, because they're taking the bids, and then the city of Baton Rouge will come and also bring it to the council for y'all's approval on that. In regards to the clearing and grubbing, we will probably advertise that and have that sometime during April. All the right-of-way except for one piece of property has been acquired, and that is being handled as sometime within the next couple of weeks to address that. Don't anticipate any problems. I know people have been asking about it. Certainly, it is a challenge sometimes dealing with the process that we have to go through. But we're moving in a positive direction. I'm also going to be meeting tomorrow morning with the Secretary of DOTD to discuss some of the other issues that we're looking at. But in realistic terms, I think you're going to see us move faster and quicker on some of these projects.
Thank you, Fred. And this is phase one specifically, which is Gurrier to
Right. Gurrier to, well, actually Brightside or short of Brightside, because they already done the intersection at that location.
Okay. And then while I recognize this item as phase one, is phase two contingent upon completion of phase one, or things are advancing for phase two, which would be Brightside to, I think, Blue Bonnet?
Yes, sir. That is the reason I'm meeting with him tomorrow.
Okay.
And because of some of the issues on the environmental study that needs to be handled, it's been a lot of delay, and I'm going to ask the Secretary, and we're not the only one, because we actually want to see this project go all the way to the parish line.
Right.
That is what we've had in the MOVE-BR program. But there's a way that we may be able to get funds, federal dollars, in regards to this project, and we want to look at that. But bottom line is they need to move forward with either doing the environmental so we can get some of these funds potentially. Also, that holds true for Iberville and also Ascension Parish. So, but right now we're only worried about our parish, and that's what we're trying to address from a transportation standpoint.
Thank you, Fred Rayford.
Yes, sir.
Hold on, Fred.
Councilman Dunn Jr.
Real quick, go
Yes,
ahead
sir.
and give a brief update on 122 and the Old Hammond Highway project.
Yes,
And
sir.
secondly, can you speak to the approach the city parish took and your department took as it relates to Move EVR? Some people are inquiring about why the city is, maintaining or repairing some state highways. Talk about the approach that was taken as it relates to that.
First off, the MUBR on the Old Hammond, the Phase 2, which is a section from Millerville to O'Neill Lane. We did receive the bids. Council has approved those bids. We're in the process, we were looking to trying to find somebody that could handle the project inspection for us, because we don't have the staffing to be able to do that at this point. So that was the item that was approved, and our goal and objective is to try to start the work on either February, I think, at this point, because it's going to take at least 30 days to get the contract signed by GEC. But we're ready to move forward. They're getting everything set up from that standpoint. In reference to roadways that we're working on, some people claim as state highways, and that is true. There are some highways still owned by the state, but it will be transferred. But Old Hammond has been transferred to us. We own all of Old Hammond, actually from Jefferson Highway all the way to Florida Boulevard. That has been transferred to the city of Baton Rouge, and so we're moving forward with the phases that we need to do. In fact, looking at trying to finalize the issue on Flannery and Old Hammond at that point. We just finished up condemning, the house was tore down just recently, which was a real issue to a lot of the people in the area. So, I mean, we're going through that process. A lot of the roadways are already ours, but then some are not, because only from a construction standpoint, once that's complete, then the city of Baton Rouge will then become the owners of that roadway.
Thank you, Fred.
Yes, sir.
We have a motion by Councilman Moak. Do we have a second by Councilman Goday? Is there any opposition? Motion carries. 124, authorizing Mayor President to accept a grant award from the State of Louisiana's Office of Community Development, Disaster Recovery, and Louisiana Watershed Initiative in an amount of $29,891,960 by the Transportation and Drainage Director. This is contingent upon grants review. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Adams, second by Councilman Hudson. Any opposition? Motion carries. 125, authorize Mayor President to execute a cooperative endeavor agreement with South Central Planning and Development Commission to provide environmental inspections and enforcement for the Department of Development in an amount not to exceed $338,000 by the Development Director. Anyone here wishing to speak on these items, on this item? Seeing none, go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilman Goday, second by Councilwoman Adams. Any opposition? Motion carries. We're going to take 126 through 132 together. Authorize the Mayor President to execute Amendment Number 5 with NCMC LLC for construction services in connection with the annual Stormwater Inlet and Junction Box Rehabilitation Project, resulting in an increase in contract in an amount of $600,000 and extending the contract through December 31st, 2026 by Environmental Services Director. Authorize the Mayor President and/or Brasco to execute Amendment Number 13 with ECM Consultants for construction inspection support services in connection with the annual construction inspection support, resulting in an increase in contract amount not to exceed $600,000 and an extension of contract time to December 31st by Environmental Services Director. Authorize the Mayor President and/or Brasco to execute Amendment Number 8 to the contract with K3B LLC for pump station lawn maintenance East Site Group, being City Parish Contract 8000776 for an amount not to exceed $175,000 and extending the contract through December 31st by Environmental Services Director. Authorize the Mayor President and/or Brasco to execute Amendment Number 9 to the contract with WP Enterprise LLC for pump station lawn maintenance North Site Group for an amount not to exceed $100,000 and extending the contract through December 31st by Environmental Services Director. Authorize Mayor President and/or Brasco to execute Amendment Number 8 to the contract with Caruth Holdings LLC for pump station lawn maintenance South Site Group for an amount not to exceed $125,000 and extending the contract through December 31st, 2026 by Environmental Services Director. 131, authorize Mayor President and/or Brasco to execute an extension to the contract with Arco Company for maintenance, repair, installation, and storage of generators for pump station sites for an additional 5 years for a fee not to exceed $2,500,000 annually by the Environmental Services Director. 132, authorize Mayor President to execute supplemental agreement number 23 to the contract with CH2M Hill Engineers, now Jacobs Engineering, for program management services for Phase 2 of the Baton Rouge Sanitary Sewer Overflow Control and Wastewater Facilities Program, resulting in an increase in the contract amount not to exceed $3,250,000 and an extension of contract time to December 31st, 2026 by the Environmental Services Director. Anyone here wishing to speak on items 126 through 132? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion by Councilwoman Adams, second by Councilman Kenny. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. 133, there's been a request to delete this item, authorizing the mayor president to execute an intergovernmental agreement with the city of St. George for the provision of animal control services in the city of St. George at a cost of $432,440 paid to the city parish for the year 2026 and continuing year to year after that upon the mutual consent of the parties, and to sign all documents in connection therewith by the animal control director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Councilman Dunn Jr.
Yes, can somebody from the administration come give me some insight on this? Why is it being deleted? Are they gonna do the services themselves? Are we amending? What's the history here?
Hi, Councilman.
How you doing?
I believe we're still working out just some minor details in it, in the agreement, and hopefully you should see it again next time around.
So the plan is for us to provide the services and they pay us for 2026?
That's
Starting
my
in
understanding,
January?
yes. That's the way the agreement is
Are we
stated,
starting
yes.
the services prior to execution of an agreement?
I believe that we are currently doing those services, but you would have to ask animal control that. My assumption is that the agreement would start January 1st. However, it would not come before you for introduction until the first council meeting in January.
And are they paying for the services that we provide right now?
I do not have an answer to that.
Does anybody have an answer to that?
To my knowledge, I do not think they are paying for it.
So why are we providing services that they're not paying for?
I think it was just an oversight, and in this agreement, we recognize that we continue to provide services. They do want the services. We just have a couple of details we need to work out.
I don't know if that's your department or whose department that is, and I don't need it right now, but I'd like to get a report that's letting us know, all the council members, the services that we're providing for St. George, that they should be providing to themselves, if they're paying for them, and if they're not, why are they not paying for them? And what is the plan to assure that they are paying for them?
Yes, sir.
So is that your department, Angie, or would that be somebody else?
I can coordinate with everyone, and then we can just send one report instead of the different directors sending multiple emails.
Okay, thank you. And also, reimbursement status.
We remember how last time y'all had asked me if they sent a reimbursement check for the services that we provided. They did receive it. There was some miscommunication. The check accidentally got sent back, but is in the process of coming back to us.
We just need to clean all that up. It's too many challenges we have from a budget standpoint, and we were, eager in getting them the money that they are owed, but don't seem as if we was as eager as getting the money that they owed us.
They did pay us timely.
In that scenario,
yes.
But you have here another one where we provide a service we're not getting paid for. We don't know if we're getting paid for it. That shouldn't happen.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Do we have a motion to delete? Motion by Councilman Dunn Jr., second by Councilwoman Adams. Any opposition? Motion carries. 134, authorize Mayor President to execute Amendment Number 10 with Grady Crawford Construction Company for construction services in connection with the annual stormwater pipe repair and replacement project, resulting in an increase in contract in the amount of $1,850,000, extending the contract through December 31st, 2026 by Environmental Services Director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Adams, second by the chair. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. 135, amending Resolution 58496, adopted February 26, 2025, in order to adopt the new fee schedule for dumping at the East Baton Rouge Parish North Landfill site and providing for other matters related thereto. effective January 1st, 2026 by Environmental Services Director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Adams. Second by Councilwoman Amorosa. Any opposition? Motion carries. 136, authorize Mayor President to execute supplemental agreement number 4 to the contract with Jacobs Engineering, formerly CH2M Hill, for Stormwater Division Program Management Services for additional compensation in an amount not to exceed $400,000 and an extension of the contract time through December 31st by Environmental Services Director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilman Hudson, second by Councilwoman Adams. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. 137, authorizing Mayor President to execute cooperative endeavor lease agreement with American Cruise Lines, providing for a 20-year exclusive docking arrangement at the City Parish Paperclip Dock in consideration of improvements to the docking facilities, maintenance and/or rental payments, and docking fees as dictated by City Parish Ordinance Title 10, Chapter 5, Section 10-300 by Councilwoman Carolyn Coleman. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Motion by Councilwoman Coleman, second by Councilwoman Adams. Councilwoman Coleman, yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. So I make this motion to approve the resolution with the amendment that the agreement is non-exclusive.
What does that mean?
Motion by Councilwoman Coleman, second by Councilwoman Adams. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. 138, authorizing Mayor President to execute a professional services agreement with SSA Consultants in an amount up to $180,000 for highly responsible professional work for the Office of the Mayor President for calendar year 2026, and the option for 1-year renewals contingent upon available budget by the Mayor's Office. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item?
Council members, you should have received one email comment in opposition to item 138.
Councilwoman Harris.
Angie, can you come up, please? Thanks, Angie.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the full cost to the city parish for the CAO position with salary and benefits, please? What would that cost us?
So, it's $250,000. Of that, the base salary is $156,000, and then the benefits is about $102,000. So, the mayor's office is freezing this position and reallocating that money to help support this contract, which generates a savings of $78,000. That is part of their budget reduction plan that they're presenting to accommodate the 11% budget cuts in 2026.
Okay, thanks, Angie. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
The parish attorney's office, please. Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
Has your office reviewed this contract and approved it?
Yes, we've reviewed it and approved it as to form.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I make a motion to.
Motion by Councilwoman Harris, second by Councilwoman Rocca. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. 139, approving the levy and assessment pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statutes 33-903, 8.76E2B of the sales and use tax and hotel occupancy tax within the LSU EDD Athletic Subdistrict as established by the Subdistrict's Board of Commissioners by Councilwoman Carolyn Coleman. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to
Council
council.
members, you should have received one email comment in opposition to item 139.
Councilman Hurst.
Call the question.
We don't follow Robert's Rules of Order, so call a question is not applicable.
Ashley?
You can make a procedural motion to call the question. You need a second, and it requires 2/3 vote.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilwoman Rocca to call the question, seconded by Councilwoman Adams. Do we have any opposition on the motion to call the question? We have one opposition. We can vote on the machines on the motion to call the question.
Machines are open on the motion to call the question. That will end debate on the item.
Motion carries. Do we have a motion on the item? Motion by Councilwoman Coleman, second by Councilman Hudson. Is there any opposition to the item? Motion carries. Item 140, authorizing the mayor president to accept the recommendation of the RFP 2025-22-5400 Evaluation Committee to issue a notice of intent to award and to enter into a contract with Hunt Guyot and Associates LLC for project management, grant management, and administrative services in support of hazard mitigation assistance programs by East Baton Rouge Parish Mayor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness Director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Councilman Hurst, is this for this one or for the last item? Okay. We have a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Adams. We have a second. Second by Councilman Goday. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. 141, authorizing Mayor President and the Director of Juvenile Services to execute a professional services agreement with Convenient Care Lake After Hours, doing business as Total Occupational, to provide juvenile access to continuum healthcare services, including screening, prevention, health education, diagnosis, and treatment, as the on-site medical director and provider in an amount not to exceed $150,000 by the Juvenile Services Director. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Adams, second by Councilwoman Harris. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. 142, adjudicated property, lot 66 and 67, subdivision McClure Place, Metro Council District 2, Kenny, bid amount in my father's house. Anyone wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilman Kenny, second by Councilwoman Adams. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. Go to your separate sheet for administrative matters. A, receiving a report from the Chief of Baton Rouge Police Department on crime statistics in Metropolitan Council District 7 for 2025 by Councilwoman Harris. I need a motion to waive the rules to allow the item to be introduced. We have a motion to waive the rules. Motion by Councilwoman Harris. We're going to have a public hearing on the motion to waive the rules. Oh, is there a second on the motion? Motion by Councilwoman Adams. We're going to have a public hearing on the motion to waive the rules. Anyone wishing to speak on the motion to waive the rules? Seeing none, we're going to have a vote on the motion to waive the rules. Any opposition? Now we need a motion to introduce the items. Of the item. Motion by Councilwoman Harris, second by Councilman Dunn Jr. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. Items introduced. Appointments. Board of Adjustment. Metropolitan, consideration of replacing Parker Ewing, who is term limited, term effective January 2nd, 2026. This is a 5-year term. Current ballot, Brad Canova, who submitted an application. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, go to council. Do we have a motion? Motion by, Councilwoman Adams?
I move that we appoint Mr. Canova.
Motion by Councilwoman Adams to appoint Mr. Canova. Do we have a second? Second by Councilwoman Amorosa. Any opposition? Motion carries. 144, Cheneyville Volunteer Fire District, consideration of reappointing or replacing Claudia Fisher, whose term expires on December 31st, 2025, effective January 1st, 2026, is a 2-year term. Current ballot is Claudia Fisher requesting reappointment. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Amorosa to reappoint Claudia Fisher. Second by Councilwoman Harris. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. 145, East Baton Rouge Parish Mosquito Abatement District, Mark. Consideration of reappointing or replacing Dr. Rebecca De Jesus Crespo. Term expires January 10th, 2026. This is a 3-year term, must be an entomologist. Dr. Rebecca De Jesus Crespo is requesting reappointment. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Adams to reappoint Dr. Crespo. Second by Councilwoman Amorosa. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. Gas Utility District Number 1, Board of Commissioners, consideration of reappointing or replacing Nathan Lemoyne Sr., whose term expires on January 1st, 2026, effective January 2nd, 2026. This is a 5-year term, must live in the district. Current ballot is Nathan Lemoyne Sr. requesting reappointment. Anyone wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Adams. We have a second. Second by the chair. Any opposition? Motion carries. Item 147, Planning and Zoning Commission, consideration of reappointing or replacing Evan Scroggs. This appointment is a 4-year term, must live in the city of Baton Rouge. Current ballot, Rex Cabanis, Evan Scroggs requesting reappointment, and Spencer Maxey. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. I'll make a motion, we appoint Spencer Maxey.
I'll make a
Motion by the chair, second by Councilwoman Harris.
I'll make a motion, we appoint Mr. Evan Scroggs, or reappoint Mr. Evan Scroggs.
We have a substitute motion to reappoint Evan Scroggs. Do we have a second? Motion fails.
No, I'll second that.
Oh, we have a second
Yeah,
by
that's
Councilman
fine. I have
Hudson.
a question.
Gode. Councilman Gode, yes.
To the council administrator. You have verified City of Baton Rouge city limits for these 3 applicants?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
We had an applicant that did not meet the criteria. These 3 do.
Thank you so much.
We have a substitute motion. We're going to vote on the machine. Substitute motion is was made by Councilman Hudson, seconded by Councilman Gode for reappointment of Evan Scroggs. We're going to vote on the machines.
Machines are open on the motion to appoint Evan Scroggs.
We'll now vote on the original motion to appoint Spencer Maxey.
Machines are open on the motion to appoint Spencer Maxey.
Congratulations, Mr. Maxey. Change orders. We're going to take 148 through 153 together. Baton Rouge Airport Terminal HVAC upgrades, contractor Bob Bernard and Associates Mechanical LLC. Change order amount $85,060.95. Contract time increased by 0 days. 149 janitorial services for various public works facilities. Contractor OOK Janitorial Services. Change order amount $39,260.80. 150 janitorial services for various public work locations. Contractor Romelli Janitorial Services. Change order amount $35,923.20. 151 Hanks Drive, Landis Drive pedestrian improvements phase 2 and 3. Contractor Triumph Construction LLC. Change order amount credit $19,041.40. 152 parish-wide traffic calming improvements, speed signs, contractor Traffic Commander LLC, change order amount, credit $2,500. 153 North Boulevard Area ADA Transition Project, contractor Honore Companies LLC, change order amount, credit $2,631.70. Anyone here wishing to speak on items 148 through 153? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion by Councilwoman Adams. Do we have a second? Second by Councilman Moak. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. Final acceptances, 154 through 157. 154, Baton Rouge Airport Terminal HVAC upgrades, contractor Bob Bernard and Associates Mechanical LLC. Final cost $2,823,060.95. Hanks Drive, Landis Drive pedestrian improvements phase 2 and 3. Contractor Triumph Construction LLC. Final cost $2,750,958.60. Parish-wide traffic calming improvements, speed signs, contractor Traffic Commander LLC. Final cost $300,436. North Boulevard Area ADA Transition Project, contractor Honore Companies LLC. Final cost $531,340.45. Anyone here wishing to speak on items 154 through 157? Seeing none, go to council. Motion by Councilwoman Adams. Do we have a second? Second by Councilman Moak. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. Acceptance of low bids. 158, Sales Tax Street and Road Rehabilitation Program, Anselmo Lane, Bluebonnet to Essen, Barringer Foreman Road, Airline to Jefferson. Barber Brothers Contracting LLC, $759,331. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Adams. Second by Councilwoman Amorosa. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. Item 159. These are this is emergency item. Actually, 159 and 160 There's a request to delete these. So we do not need to consider these an emergency. We're going to go straight 161 through 164. In accordance with ordinance 16442, these items must be declared an emergency by 2/3 vote of the Metropolitan Council. Need a motion to declare these items an emergency. Motion by Councilman Dunn Jr. Do we have a second? Second by Councilman Hudson. Any opposition on the motion to declare these items an emergency? All right, we're going to have a public hearing. We're going to take them one by one. 161, authorization of the mayor, president, and/or chairman of the airport commission to execute supplemental agreement number 2 to the professional services contract with Stephen Baldwin and Associates to perform additional services for the governance model review, assessment, and transfer in an amount not to exceed $200,120 by the aviation director. Reason for the emergency is this item is deemed an emergency to meet certain deadlines. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. Motion by Councilman Dunn Jr., second by Councilwoman Adams. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. 162, authorizing the mayor president to execute an intergovernmental agreement with the East Baton Rouge Parish Communications District in accordance with the terms and conditions in the agreement effective January 1st, 2026 by the mayor's office. The reason for emergency is to be presented and voted on prior to 2026. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Adams, second by Councilwoman Amorosa. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. 163, a resolution approving the calling of a special election by the Fire Protection District number 6, Parish of East Baton Rouge, State of Louisiana, the district, on Saturday, May 16th, 2026, for the purpose of authorizing the renewal of the levy and collection of a special 5 mils ad valorem tax with the avails or proceeds of said tax to be used entirely and exclusively for the development, operation, and maintenance of the fire protection facilities of the district, including the cost of obtaining water for fire protection purposes and fire hydrants within the district, and providing for other matters in connection therewith by Fire Protection District number 6. Reason for emergency in order to meet the bond commission deadline for a May election. Anyone here wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll go to council. We have a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Adams, second by Councilman Moak. Any opposition? Motion carries. 164, receiving a report from the CEO of Habitat for Humanity of Greater Baton Rouge, giving an update on the work Habitat is doing within the city parish, and to thank council for their support by Councilwoman Carolyn Coleman. Reason for the emergency being requested as an emergency to allow the report to be given before the end of the year. Anyone here wishing to speak on these items? Actually, we're going to hear the report before we have the public hearing. Let's hear the report first.
Thank you all so much. Good evening. My name is Richie Goebel. I'm the Chief Executive Officer for Habitat for Humanity of Greater Baton Rouge, and I greatly appreciate the opportunity to speak to you today about our partnership that spans 17 years, helping bringing more affordable housing opportunities to hardworking families here in Baton Rouge. We are grateful for this partnership, and we look forward to continuing our work together into the future. And in fact, this work is being completed as we speak. More on that in a moment. Together, we have served as a catalyst for affordable housing in our community. Since 1989, Habitat for Humanity has built 426 single-family homes and repaired over 130 existing homes in the greater Baton Rouge area. To put this into perspective, this puts us in the top 3% of Habitat affiliates across the nation for housing production. This is something we're very proud of, but something that you and our community should be proud of. We are just a vessel through which the community acts. Over 130,000 volunteers have come swung a hammer with us throughout the years. Truly an incredible number when you think about the city the size of Baton Rouge. Our model is unique and sometimes misunderstood. Many think that we just give homes away, and that could not be further from the truth. Our homeowners truly earn the opportunity for homeownership, more than most of us who have purchased homes through conventional means. It can take up to 2 years for our partner families to make it through our homeownership program, a program that includes things like financial literacy classes, budgeting classes, homeownership classes, and the biggest challenge, a sweat equity component. Each future homeowner is required to complete at least 255 hours of sweat equity, building homes before others, before they have an opportunity to build a home for themselves. Then once the home is complete, we then sell the home to our homeowner at appraised value with a 30-year mortgage, but at a 0% interest rate. That's what helps keep the home affordable. Back to our partnership. You've been very much a part of our housing-based ministry. We at Habitat have been regular recipients of home grant funding that has been so instrumental in bringing new investment and homeownership opportunities to communities who haven't been given the opportunity in this piece of the American dream. We have been awarded federal funds through home grants in partnership with the Office of Community Development, leveraging those funds with philanthropic dollars and other grant funding to make homes happen. Since 2008, our affiliate has received $4.7 million in home grant funding through EBR, Office of Community Development. This funding has helped build 49 homes here in Baton Rouge. In fact, we are currently expending home grant funds as we speak to build 4 more Habitat homes on Dayton Street in 70805. We recently completed 2 of these homes, with 1 under construction and 1 to break ground this spring. This will bring the total number of single-family homes with your help to 51 homes. Additionally, since 2014, our Habitat affiliate has been awarded CDBG funds from the Office of Community Development, which has helped complete 45 critical home repairs owned by low-income families. Without home grant fundings and new affordable housing and CDBG funding for critical home repairs, almost 100 families through our partnership would not have a safe, decent, and affordable place to call home. Together, this funding has served as a catalyst not just for our affiliate of Habitat, but for our community. Last year, our activities have led to $7.6 million in economic activity for East Baton Rouge Parish. And as a side note, Habitat homeowners pay $86,000 a year in property taxes. We have seen property values rise when we invest in communities as well. A few years back, we invested in housing in Scotlandville, and in 5 years of work, we saw appraisals rise 20%. As of today, we've built almost 50 homes in the Easytown and Fairfields neighborhoods, and we've seen our appraisals rise here too. Data also shows that safe, affordable housing not only leads to more wealth creation, but better educational and health outcomes, less crime, and community pride. Beyond data, our heart really lies with building hope, dignity, and the power of community. We're not just funding the construction of homes, but we are building stronger, more resilient communities from the ground up. Every Habitat home represents far more than shelter. It's a foundation for a family's future, a place where children can study without worrying about leaks in the roof, a place where parents can focus on the stability instead of survival. It's a place where dreams begin to take shape and where families rediscover a sense of belonging and security that too often feels out of reach. So when you invest in Habitat, you invest in people, you invest in stability, and you invest in hope itself. Thank you for the role you've played in helping our ministry happen, and let's keep building. Not just houses, but the foundations of a stronger, more compassionate community for generations to come. Thank y'all.
Thank you so much. We're going to have a public hearing on the report. Anyone wishing to speak on the report? We'll go to council. Councilman Gode.
Hey, Richie, would you come back up? Sure. And forgive me, the last name is pronounced?
Goebel.
Goebel. Thank you, Mr. Goebel. Appreciate that. And thank you for the work you and Habitat do in our community. And Lynn Clark, previous CEO, someone who we knew very well and did a lot of tremendous work. In the district that I represent, the Gardere community is within District 3. And so y'all have been doing work there recently, and just wanted to express my gratitude for that. Increasing home ownership within the Gardere community is to all the points you made towards the end of your statement. Increases resiliency, increases surrounding property rates, all the positive things. And so absolutely a goal that I support, particularly for Gardere. And so to whatever extent I can be of assistance to you, there's organizations in that community that have the trust of that community that I always value having by my side when I'm going into the Gardere community. And then if ever there's a zoning change need, anything like that, please feel free to reach out. I really appreciate what y'all do for East Baton Rouge as a whole. But happy to help in that Gardere community. Thank you.
I greatly appreciate that. Thank you.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Yes, and Richie, I appreciate you and I thank you. And
I was hoping you wouldn't let me escape.
Yeah, yes, indeed. And Lynn is still kind of hanging around and helping out and having all, throwing you all the way away. But affordable housing is the key. And I'm so grateful for what else you all have added. It's one thing getting something, but it's another thing maintaining it and keeping it and knowing how to, and then also that sweat equity, and that's about so you all's plan for the people that will be receiving or that have already receive the affordable housing. We appreciate what you all are doing. And so you're really causing hope to be a part of folk lives. So we definitely appreciate what you're doing. And thank you for coming here
you, of course.
and educating all of us, even those that are over there talking while we are. Yeah, even those. And so just want to appreciate your coming here and the hope that you're implanting in the lives of these people. You are appreciated.
I appreciate that, and a lot of this, again, it doesn't happen without your support and y'all helping us. So thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Goebel.
Can I ask one quick question? Is that okay?
Please.
If someone wants to get involved with Habitat for Humanity here in Baton Rouge, how should they reach out? Who should they reach out to? How should they engage?
Yeah, there's a number of ways to get involved. One, of course, I think people think of volunteering and helping us build homes. Another is through shopping at our restores. We have 2 retail locations here in Baton Rouge where we sell lightly used home furnishings and also some construction materials. And so when you shop at a restore, you help fund our mission. So I think a lot of people don't realize that, but that is certainly the case when you shop at our restore location. There's a lot of ways to get involved, helping our home ownership program, because it really truly is a fully immersive program, preparing folks for home ownership. And so getting involved when it comes to things like financial literacy, home ownership classes, those sort of things, that's all possible. Look, you can communicate with me directly. Our website, habitatbrla.org. You can reach out to us and we can find a good fit. There's a lot of different ways to support us. Particularly recently with the increased cost of building homes and the increased cost of home ownership, period, advocacy for affordable housing is huge. To be sure that we're remaining advocates for folks and get them into that piece of the American dream that many of us have been fortunate to experience.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I'd like to ask that you come up with a day where the council members, it could be a council day, where they come out and pick that hammer up in those nails, and even some folk out of the from up here in City Parish. And
Let's do it.
yeah, I don't know of any of these folk up here that would not pick that hammer and those nails up, and across that hall as well.
Let's do it, and let's do it before it gets too hot.
There, you better believe it.
Can I say I don't trust Dwight Hudson with a hammer? I'm just going to throw that out there, put it on the record.
We'll let him be the water boy.
I am fairly handy, but somebody needs to hold a clipboard, and I'll volunteer.
We have jobs for everybody.
There it is. There it is.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We do have a request to reconsider items 71 and 74 of condemnations by Councilwoman Coleman, second by the chair. Any opposition to reconsidering? The request is for 60 days for both items 71 and 74. Motion by the chair. Do we have a second? Second by Councilman Kinney. Is there any opposition? Motion carries. Councilwoman Amorosa.
Motion to adjourn and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank y'all. It's been a pleasure to serve with y'all this year. I think this was record time for a final meeting.